Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Niva. I have decided to rip off these wheel extensions because I need to fit the other ones. At first I just thought that I would cut them into shape to make it fit, but I realized that this is a piece of metal that is bonded to the old fender with fiberglass, and I think it's hiding some pretty severe mess, so I have to rip it off and then see what's actually what. I might have to do some welding, and I might have to actually end up investing in new repair panels for this, but I hope to be able to not do that because I have the plastic fender that will hide the the fix that I will end up doing. But let's see, I will have to try to take it off, and I already started, and it seems as though these two pieces are supposed to fit together. They are not, and the fiberglass is all the way up there. So I am a bit worried about how this will evolve, especially since it's highly unlikely that this is only bad on this side. Okay, so we actually are having some metal in there, but it's not looking too good. Problem solved. Thank you. Good night. It looks pretty decent inside of here, actually. I don't know if this plate is actually a loose panel. It almost seems as though it's just screwed in place. This has been welded a bit, but and also I think maybe this is just a repair panel that can be bolted on. It looks bad. Maybe it's not that bad. Who am I kidding? But really, it's not as bad as it looks. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but I have not lost hope, not at all. Remember, I fixed a lot of stuff on this already, and this is in the smaller department, really. At least the stuff that I can see now. You never really know before you dig in. But I have decided to not go any further on uncovering the rust for the time being, because I'm going to do some research, because if I could get 2 new front wings and repair panels for the rear wheel arch without breaking the bank, I think I'm going that road, although that would be a bit annoying with the patina that I really like. So if I do that, I will have to paint the front wing with something that looks like the rest of it, or maybe just give everything a bit of a spray at some point. Either way, I think it won't destroy the look completely with some, some new wings. It would make the work a lot easier, at least. So before going any further, I will do some research on that. If that doesn't work out, then I'm gonna try to fix the wheel arches just by bending some metal, and then it's going to be hit pretty much with the wheel extension. So it could be an okay solution, but no more rust work for today. Now I'm gonna start to disassemble the suspension and the brakes and all the other stuff that needs to be changed on this one. But firstly, I'm gonna do some cleaning. So I'm gonna ignore the rust for now and start to disassemble this side. I'm almost out of my comfort zone because I'm just gonna rip stuff off and then put new back on. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to trying that. Also because it's gonna feel so resulty, if that is a word. in the end. So I'm going to put a clamp on this spring, and then we are going to try to disassemble my best advice when doing stuff like this, and especially when you know you're not going to put the new stuff back on right away, because I don't even have all the parts yet, and also something might need doing in here, and so take pictures. Just take pictures of everything you take off. That way it will make it a lot easier when you come to put it back together. Oh, that was tight. Ah, like that. That was tough. I'm just going to cut the brake lines. They're actually not that bad on this side, but on the other side they are really cracked. So I'm not taking any chances on that. And I'm going to change them. And then let's release this cap like that. And then try to crack this one loose. Oh yes, of course it's going to turn. I should have done this with the car on the floor. Sometimes I'm lucky with this one. Woo! I was today. So with that loose and the caliper loose, I want to loosen up the clamp that holds down the anti-roll bar. And then let's loosen the nut on the shock absorber. And this is really easy. It's not been that long since it's been rainstorm, that's for sure. Normally stuff like this is just impossible to turn. But I think someone has been working a lot on this car actually. And not that, I don't think the whole lift kit is that long ago either. Now I'm going to loosen up these slowly because there is still a bit of tension on the spring. And I need to keep an eye on the amount of tension, because if I just loosen this up, it will fall down and the spring will pop out if there's too much tension. So I might have to put more clamps on. Otherwise, maybe jack the bottom end of it slightly up so I can control it at least. But to begin with, I'm just going to loosen it up. So the pressure is still slightly high. You can see the rubber is compressed over here. It's not extreme, but I'm not going to take any chance. So I'm going to support the lower end with the jack. Then I think it would be safe to take the rest of the nut off. And to be safe, I'm going to keep my hands out here, not in here, because in case I missed something and this part of the suspension does like this, and I wouldn't want to have my hands in there. Just going to stay out here. Like that. So it moved a little bit. So there was still a bit of pressure, but not a lot. I should be able to just push it out of the way now. Then I'm going to lower the jack slowly and take the spring out when that permits it. Still keeping my distance as much as I can, because even though I think I have this under control, now the problem is it's just jammed slightly like that. And then I'm going to release that pressure as quick as possible, because I hate having pressure on those. I really hate it. The spring is uncompressed. And the old spring actually seems to be very identical to the new one. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Maybe a bit more stiff. It feels a bit more stiff. I'm not sure. But it's not the spring that has lifted it, it's the kit, the lift kit, all the blocks that lifted the car, not the spring. There's a rubber gator on this drive shaft that needs to be changed because it's not existent. I think I ordered one of those already. I need to check up on that. Oy. Because that is important. Oh, quite heavy. Brake caliper and all. Like that. I have some spacer rings that I need to put back on the right order. And so this is it, at least for today. I still need to remove that, but I will wait until I install the new brake lines. I also need to take this console off because this is part of the reason why we're doing all this, because it's really rotten. The lower one I thought was rotten as well, but it's actually not that bad. But I bought new ones, so we're gonna take both this part of it and this part of it off. Make sure that the rear of it, the frame, is all right, and then I put it back together. But not today, it's late. This part, we're gonna change the upper and lower ball joint. This one is actually fairly all right. This one up here is not feeling all that great. It's hard to say when it's not attached to the vehicle, but I bought new ones because maybe they are all right, but because it has been raised up the way it has, I am suspecting that the components has been stressed more than they were actually designed to. So I just like to have everything changed in this instance, also because it's rather cheap. I don't think there's anything wrong with the brake calipers, but I actually got new ones over there, so I'm gonna change them as well. This is really turning out to be a buy, throw away episode of Seaside Garage, but bear with me. A lot of this stuff was actually came with the car, but I also bought a lot of it, so no excuse. We are going to change the brake discs as well, and then we have to straighten out the backing plate because it's really not straight. Yeah. And on this part we're going to change the shock absorber because I think it's longer than it has to be when it's not lowered. This one are we also going to change this console because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to look like this. It seems to have been raised up by a piece of metal that's just been welded on. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to just rest on the swing arm. So I bought new ones of those because it's most likely actually that someone has tried to get the geometry right with this lift kit. So maybe it's not that bad as I thought, but we're gonna change all that. I done the same to this side, and I actually also took off the top of this mount that we're going to change. Everything looks pretty decent back there. I don't think I have to do any welding, so that's nice. But I'm gonna end this video here because it's late and I have to go somewhere for the next couple of days, and I'm waiting on parts to continue. But we really got started on this project now. I'm really dug in. This car is not going off the lift before I'm finished with it because it's not going to be able to drive or brake or anything. So at least this part of it needs to be finished up. We have to do pretty much the same, although it's less complicated at the rear because we need to change the springs back there and the suspension and the brakes, of course. So an important step has been made. I've decided to buy new front wings for both sides because they were not cheap, but not that expensive either. So I bought new ones of those. Of course, they're not gonna match to the paint, so I'm still considering, and this might sound a little bit stupid, but just to cut all out, because you couldn't actually get the wheel arch repair panel. You could only buy the entire front wing. So maybe I'm just gonna cut the piece I need out of the new front wing and weld that on. I haven't really decided, because the clever thing to do would, of course, just be to change everything, because then I know it would be rust-free and also be able to check inside of here, even though I'm not suspecting to be a problem up there. But if I change the entire front wing, it will really look out of place, and getting it to match the rest of the car will be hard. I am considering just repainting the entire car with Raptor or you know, some of that bit liner paint. But that's going to be a big job also. On the other hand, it doesn't really matter that the front wing has another color. This is just a winter classic fun car. It's not a show car. But I haven't really decided. Maybe I'm just going to cut that out, because if I cut out just the piece I need and weld it in, it will be hidden by the rubber, by the plastic mud guards or wheel arches that I bought, which I, of course, don't have to fit when I fix it up proper. But I think I will do that anyway, because I think they are looking pretty nice. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you for the support on Patreon. There's a link in the description if you want to support this and other projects and me. But anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.